Before we start this episode, it's a long one, Ryan and I want to take 2 minutes and talk about how we deal with our fears on board. We feel that being afraid of the unknown is normal, and being afraid of danger is actually healthy. And, you know, sometimes we experience what we don't know as something dangerous. For example, I'm very afraid of the big boats.
But there's lots of things, from tides to tidal streams to shifting sandbanks to crashing into their boats to fishing pods to just getting sick or cutting yourself like I did today. And how do you manage that? And so there's so many things. I try to be just as prepared as I can be. So I do a lot of reading, probably more than I should. Talk with people. There's always going to be the unknown, but there's no excuse for not knowing certain information if it's published or if it's discussed, and that's the way I deal with my fears. The biggest thing I've learned is that you're not alone in your fears.
If you are too afraid of the big ships, know that you are not alone. Okay, today we're
going to
take the Kiel canal.
It's the first time we've done a lock and canal and then tides. I don't know if it's a challenge, but the newness of it will be that there's some pretty large ships that can be in there at the same time as us.
The entire time I was like super excited to take the Kiel canal. We're gonna do locks and it's the biggest man-made canal in the world. And then yesterday I realized it's like, wait, it's gonna be a narrow canal with big ships and we're gonna be very close to those big ships. And you know how I like being close to the big ships, right?
Yeah, and today you're gonna need to stay as far over to the side as you can.
There must be a speed limit.
Yeah, but we won't exceed it. 8 knots, I think.
That's 8 knots. We're never gonna reach that speed. Does it mean that big boats are going to want to pass us?
Yes.
Oh my god.
And they're the ones constrained by drag. Yeah, they're gonna pass, but it's gonna be okay. After the first few boats pass us, you'll be fine. I got like the little guide off the interwebs where they publish a little guide that's pretty handy.
Ryan has made a little plan for how the day will go, with distances, time estimated, and what radio channel to monitor.
Yeah.
You're good.
Mm-hmm. Really freaking cold this morning. I'm getting really tired of this.
It isn't time to cry. We traveled all around the world to see the meaning of our lives.
I see it.
You coming through the door. You fill the room with joy.
We have now gone all the way from Laboe to the doors of the locks. Paying was okay, apart from the fact that I had never seen an automat machine that does not take credit cards unless it's a maestro. We paid 18 euros, which is the price for pleasure vessels up to 40 feet. And now we are waiting until we can make our way into the canal. Kiel up. This is Swedish sailing vessel Polar Seal, waiting outside the canal for entry. We just get the signal that we can enter the locks and we are making our way into the basin where we're gonna dock somehow. And this is it. Next, the canal.
Yep.
the boat in the locks. Like, oh, it was a bit bad, but we're gonna make it. We're lucky that the good sailors in front of us kind of showed us how it's done. When one of the guys came up to our boat to help us, he looked at the fenders and he was like, not good. The lock behind us over there just closed, and we're waiting for the lock in front of us to open. And if you remember what I said about how I enjoy being close to big boats,
They really scare me.
yeah, that's how. Oh, the bell is ringing. It's happening. That was definitely for us, but I do not understand.
Sportboot in der Notkammer, bitte auslaufen, zügig bitte.
It's here, honey.
All right, thank you. Oops.
Now we gotta start keeping to the right.
Yeah. I don't like this. Brace yourselves! Whoa! Surfing, and Ryan was shouting. He was like, "There's gonna be a wake, and it's gonna make the aquamarina look small." Oh, and it looks spooky. Oh, it is really bad. It was so big and spooky.
Yeah, but honey, look how easy and slick we just went past it, right?
Okay.
It wasn't that bad, was it? I mean, we got really close and it was fine.
Yeah. It still makes me something in my tummy.
Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? We're not even seeing any ships. Like, if there was big ships coming every like 15 minutes, that would be fun.
No, 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 no. I am totally fine with that. I would rather be alone than having to deal with those enormous container ships. It scared the crap out of me. You see this sailboat behind me? We knew that we were going to pass it, and as we engaged
Oh, there's a guy naked sailing.
When you saw the guy, you were like, oh, I'm pretty sure that the guy in this boat doesn't have a shirt.
No, he clearly didn't.
When I started hand steering, I stood up, and standing up was actually giving me a view. And then I looked closer and I realized that he didn't have pants either.
He was sailing naked while I was wearing a hat and wools.
The speed difference between our boats wasn't very big. It was getting a little awkward, so I accelerated a little bit and we passed him. We had never come across this sailing style before. Why not? Like, you gotta keep an open mind.
I wonder if the naked German guy put sunscreen on his... Because he might have a hard burn today. Don't you think? The never sees sun. Or maybe his does.
Who is this person on my boat?
I mean, I think it's a...
Isa, Kiel, canal 2.
She wants to know too.
Oh my god.
Ja, moin moin.
No.
Yeah.
Are we going up or down? I think we're going up. This is impressive. Look, honey! The North Sea!
Dahinter.
North Sea! Woohoo! Are there any obstacles
Oh yeah.
apart from the many ships around? Oh my god, this is it. This is my nightmare. Oh my god, it's so big. I feel the North Sea is going to give me a heart attack.
Probably.
A lot of things happen once you exit the Kiel canal. First off, the traffic gets legitimately impressive. The second thing that happens is that the water gets tidal. And right now we're ahead of our schedule, which in most cases in normal life is a good thing, right? Well, that extra hour gets us fighting against the tide. We're doing 3.5 knots right now. We are reaching the end of our 14 hours of motoring all the way from Laboe to Cuxhaven. This was a successful passage, what would you say?
Well, let's not count our chickens before they hatch.
Alright, we still have one parking job to do, so you're absolutely right. When I film, when we sail, I found myself having absolutely zero images of the moment when we arrive. It's because we're only two people handling the boat and we need to be working on deck. And so there is no room for the camera, and today hell broke loose and then we had a fight.
Because I made an off-the-wall comment that was not appropriate to Sophie. But in reality, we've had much worse parking. Well, we went through a lot of trials and tribulations of new things that we haven't done before today. So we need to spend the next few days brushing up on
Parking.
Morgan's Cloud, the website, if you haven't been on it, is really good and they have a lot of good material. John has a multi-part series on parking, which I've read 2 or 3 times, so you'd think it'd be good, but then you need to practice.
We are
In Cuxhaven.
in Cuxhaven.
Yeah,
We made it.
we made it.
So what do you think? What are you guys afraid of? And how do you deal with your fears? Let us know in the comments. Well, we hope that this video gave you an insight in how we manage our fears, if we do. I don't know, do you think that this was insightful?
To people?
Yeah?
Probably.
If you like this video, give us a thumb up, and if you don't do it yet, subscribe. You guys sent us a lot of questions through like all of our channels. We are gonna start to answer those questions in next week's episode, so stay tuned, hit the little bell button so you get a notification when it comes out, and we'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye guys!
I will be long gone by now.
When it comes to seasickness, opinions are, some people say that you are prone to seasickness. You are probably going to have to deal with that your entire life. Ryan wants to put me in one of those spinning chairs that the American Army uses to desensitize its pilots.